be a sponge, and then bring the juice.
By focusing on your improvement, by focusing on your progress, and eliminating any fixed mindset that you may have and acts of perfectionism, then you encourage your own mastery.
On some level, we do what we want to do 24 hours a day. Now, sometimes it may not seem like that, but if I'm choosing to work instead of sleep, what I'm actually saying is keeping my job is more important than sleeping.
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of getting beat. What can I do to get over this hump? So mentally, that's when I kind of put that forefront, like, hey, it's either all or nothing.
I like to put failure in quotations because I don't believe that failure is true failure if you're looking at it with the right mindset.
The truth is, the journey to greatness is hard. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes focus, and every day you have to decide what you value, what you want to pursue, and what you want to achieve. And if you dig deep enough, if you push hard enough, we all have what it takes to be great. Welcome to the Edge of Greatness. Hello and welcome to From the Edge, September 7th. It is officially after Labor Day, September time, football season, and the summit has come to a close. It's been a really incredible few weeks for me. It's been a lot going on. I talked last time about how the power of deadlines helps me. And it's interesting now, I have no deadline. I have nothing on my calendar that says it has to be done at a certain time. And so I had this thought last night is, how do you transition when you finish a big project? How do you transition to the next thing? Because I think what really happens a lot of times is we push really hard, we get something done, we feel good about it, and we stop making progress afterwards. But to truly achieve excellence, to find new footing, to get to a new level, we can't stop for too long. If we stop for too long, we go backwards or people pass us. And so I'm in that phase right now where I'm trying to figure out how to next take that step. And I think that's, for me anyway, what's working is setting deadlines on other things. And I also gave myself one day to take kind of a break, to not feel like I was letting myself down for sleeping in until 6 instead of getting up at 5. But right now, I'm setting an artificial deadline for my book. You know, I was working on it before the summit. I took a little break to do the summit. So at least I have another project. But I'm curious about those of you out there who, when you finish a project and don't have another one lined up, what do you do then? And I want to make sure that I'm being clear, is that I'm genuinely actually curious about how do we do better, because once I'm done with this book, I don't have any other projects. I don't have anything else to do. And so I don't want to just come downstairs every morning and spin my wheels. I want things to focus on. And so I think over the course of this month, as I'm working on this book, I'm going to start to set new targets and new goals and new things to chase. But I don't know if that works for everybody. I don't know how that works as far as you guys being wired. So if you have a chance, send me a message. Let me know what you do to handle the transitional phases between the larger projects that you do. Because I think that's a curious place to be. And it's a place that I feel it's easy to get lost, because you worked really hard. You earned the right to take a break. You turn that break into a day, 2, 5, a week, 2 weeks. And then you look back and you go, oh crap, I haven't done anything for a while. And that's my fear. I don't want to get stuck in my break. And so, like I said, I gave myself a day. I still ended up doing work. I came down when I woke up, because I woke up at 6, which was still before the kids and the wife. And so I was like, you know what? It's time to go downstairs and do some stuff and knock some things out. Thankfully, like I mentioned before, I do have the book, but what do I do next? And so I've been working on some different things, throwing around some ideas to more or less occupy my mind, to give me targets to continue to work on going forward. Because like I said before, I believe I do well with deadlines, but I've had this conversation with a couple of friends. I think of myself as a guided missile. I have a hard time setting my own target and setting my own destination, but if you point me in the right direction and you tell me what I'm aiming at, I will hit that target. And that's me. And I know that. So, I mean, if you've followed me long enough, you've heard me talk about my strength as an assistant coach. That's why. I don't want to make the game plan. I don't want to, because I do better when somebody else says, hey, aim at that, do that, and I can go to work. And so for what I'm trying to get to now is, when I don't have somebody else to help me set my targets, how do I get better at that? You know, there are certain things I do really well at setting targets for. There's other things that I'm not as good at. And that's the balance for myself. But that's also the power of getting to know who I am. You know, that self-awareness piece for myself has been valuable. And those areas, it's a weakness for me. If I don't have something specific that I can shoot at, that I can aim for, and nobody's telling me where to aim, I just blow up in the ocean. So yeah, if you have ideas on how to better become good at setting your own destinations, if you're somebody who's constantly setting the target that you're aiming for and not needing others to help you kind of guide your missile, then that would be great. If you're somebody who's struggling, you know where you want to go, but you're struggling to get there, reach out. Let me know. I can help you figure out some strategies that work for me that may, get you moving in the right direction. But ultimately is if you want to continue to improve, if you want to continue to take steps towards greatness, you have to constantly have targets. So when you finish a goal, when you finish a project, when you finish anything, celebrate it, enjoy it, appreciate it, but don't wait too long to set another target. Keep reaching for the stars. Fall flat on your face. But remember, whenever we fall, always get up. Thank you for joining us today on the Edge of Greatness podcast. If you haven't yet, please take a minute now to subscribe and review our show. Join us again next week as we continue to dig deeper into the key components of greatness. The path to greatness is never linear, so remember to keep pursuing greatness no matter what. Keep stretching your abilities, reach for the stars, and fall flat on your face. But remember, no matter what happens, whenever we fall, always get up. Until next time, I'm Charles Schultz, and this was the Edge of Greatness podcast.